Hello and welcome to Top Dog TV's Football News Roundup for Tuesday the 23rd of January 2018. Today we start with some bad news with the passing of former Barnsley owner Patrick Crine. The 66-year-old had sold the club to a consortium involving a Chinese billionaire and the pioneer of Moneyball just a month ago due to his cancer. It is a sad loss for Barnsley as Crine was the saviour of the club back in 2003. A quick roundup of transfer deals now. Matt Targett has joined Fulham on loan from Southampton in a move that is sure to set off rumours of young starlet Ryan Sessegnon leaving them. Targett is just on loan until the end of the season though. Matthias Klitsch, who only joined Leeds United in the summer, is also heading off on loan to FC Utrecht in Holland to try and get some game time as he struggled at Leeds. Norwich have signed 26-year-old Aberdeen midfielder Kenny McLean and sent him straight back on loan to Aberdeen until the end of the season. Erdal Raki from Benfica, the Sweden under-21 international, has joined Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace on loan for the rest of the season. Raki Benoni joined Benfica from Malmo earlier this month. Inter Milan confirmed the signing of Rafinha on loan from Barcelona for the rest of the season, with an option to make the deal permanent by paying a fee of around €38 million in total. Championship leaders Wolves have sent Michael Zero out on loan to Charlton Athletic to regain fitness as he attempts to recover from a long-term knee injury. And former Juventus and Inter Milan midfielder has left Bologna to become MLS side Montreal Impact's designated player. Safia Tejda has joined on a 2-year loan deal with an option for a third season. And now the news that Pep has been sacked. No, not that one. Pep Clotet, the manager of English League One side Oxford United, has been sacked following a 2-1 loss at home to bottom of the table Bury on Saturday. Clotet had only been appointed in July and had formerly been a coach at both Leeds United and Swansea City. Derek Fazackerley will be caretaker manager while a long-term replacement is sought. Scottish FA will have to begin their search for a replacement for Gordon Strachan once more, as Northern Ireland manager Michael O'Neill has rejected the chance to take the job. In more sad news, another legend of the game passed away as former England and Blackpool captain Jimmy Armfield has died after a battle with cancer. He is probably most known in recent times as being a football summariser on the radio. Now on to some Spanish football, as Cristiano Ronaldo lives up to his reputation for vanity. After scoring 2 goals in Real Madrid's 7-1 victory over Deportivo La Coruña, Ronaldo took a boot to the head from Fabian Schär, which did enough damage to end his game there and then. Well, what actually ended his game there and then was when he saw his face in the club doctor's phone. Using it like a mirror, he had a look at the damage and decided that he'd had enough of playing that game once he saw the mess he'd made of his face. That is something only Cristiano Ronaldo would do. In England, Premier League leaders Manchester City have tied down Belgian playmaker Kevin De Bruyne until 2023, a 2-year extension on his previous deal. De Bruyne joined City from VfL Wolfsburg after he'd been surprisingly sold to them by Chelsea as a youngster. Since then he has grown into one of the top midfielders in Europe. Also in England, the swap deal between Arsenal and Manchester United has finally been completed. Manchester United have taken Alexis Sanchez, the Chilean winger, while Armenian forward Henrik Mkhitaryan heads the other way in return. Sanchez had been close to joining Manchester City in the summer, but now he's in the other half of Manchester. Both players were in desperate need of a fresh start, and it could be argued that both teams have won the deal. New Bordeaux manager Gus Poyet has revealed that he only took the role on condition that Brazilian forward Malcolm was not sold. The 20-year-old has been talking about his dream to play in the English Premier League recently, amid interest from both Tottenham and Arsenal, but it now looks like they'll have to wait to get the 20-year-old. Former superstar Brazilian Robinho, now 33, has agreed a deal to sign for Sivasspor in Turkey. Robinho, who has previously played for Manchester City, Real Madrid and AC Milan, was handed a 9-year jail sentence after being found guilty of taking part in a gang rape of a woman in Milan in 2013. Robinho maintains his innocence and his sentence is suspended while he appeals the decision, allowing him to continue to play football. The Spanish Football Union has hit out at a deal which involved Saudi Arabian players joining Spanish clubs on loan as sacrificing the essence of the sport, claiming that it prioritises the economic aspect over the sporting one. Through the deal, 9 Saudi Arabian players have joined Spanish teams. The teams themselves knew little about the players or the deal. In fact, one of the teams, Sporting Gijón, who signed the player, knew so little about him they actually released a Twitter statement naming his club as the player they had signed. Blatter may be gone, but FIFA is still all about the money, as they discussed the possibility of a sponsor for the VAR in the forthcoming World Cup in Russia. This will be the first time VAR will be used at a World Cup, and FIFA are intending to use the pause in the game to offer broadcasting time to sponsors. Will this mean that the referees will be forced to use the VAR more often than they actually need to, just so they can get more sponsorship money in? Unsurprisingly, Harry Kane has won the vote for England's Player of the Year, receiving 75% of the votes. He scored 7 goals in 6 games, so there was not really much chance of it going to anyone else. Speaking of strikers in English football, and Chicharito has put in a transfer request to West Ham United according to his agent. The Mexican striker has been on the fringes recently and is now looking for more football with the World Cup coming up next summer. Veteran Bayern Munich head coach Jupp Heynckes has revealed that he rejected offers from Chelsea and PSG following the end of his previous spell with the Bavarian Giants. Despite Heynckes winning the treble of Bundesliga, German Cup and Champions League, he was famously replaced by Pep Guardiola in 2013 and announced his retirement from the game at that point. However, despite the retirement announcement, clubs were still trying to convince him to take a role at them. Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich wanted to visit him in his home, but he turned it down. PSG wanted to take their whole entourage to Heynckes' farmhouse and to have Nasser Al Khalifa's chefs cook for him. Heynckes again said no, as he wanted to stay retired at the time, until Uli Hoeneß, his friend, called him after Carlo Ancelotti was given the push by Bayern. His return has revitalised Bayern and they have returned to the top at the Bundesliga as usual.